Alright, so on this model, I was able to fix the fan or repair the old original fan, so make sure to stay tuned till the end of the video to see how I did that. Alright, hope this video helps. Enjoy. Alright, so this is just going to be a video showing how to replace the fan on this ASUS TUF book. This is a TUF506 or TUF506IV-AS76. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and remove all these screws. These are PH1 or JS1 screws. You want to keep them all in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I put them flat side down like this on my desk in the pattern I remove them. Alright. So we're just going to go across. We got 4 along the back here, then we got 3, and then we got 4 more down there. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. I did work on this model before, cleaning out the dust and going over all the components inside. So that's on a separate video. If you want to see that full video and not just the fan, make sure to check that out. It's on my channel. You can probably just search ASUS TUF506 It's Been Repaired or something, and it should show up. If you can't find it, just let me know. Maybe I'll see if I can put a link in the description below. Maybe that'll help as well, and also pin a comment with it. Alright, so let's go ahead and get all these screws out. Oops, I forgot to turn off my notifications. Give me a second. Alright, sorry about that. Let's go ahead and continue removing the screws. Okay. So these screws, again, are all different size, shape, and lengths. The back 2 here are the longest. And then I think these corner ones, as well as these 3, are about the same. As well as these middle 2 down here. And then this one is much shorter. And I think this one stays in place if I remember correctly. So let's go ahead and continue. If this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And yes, I was right about that. If this video helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Anyways, this screw, because it gets stuck here, it helps you kind of get a gap here. Alright, so what you do is you get in that gap, and then I slide my fingernails in there. You can use plastic pry tools if you want, or whatever works for you. Alright, so we're just going to go along there and pop this cover up, just like this. I'm pushing with my thumb here and pulling up with my fingernails, as you can see. Okay, as we go along. Okay, so we got part of this out, as you can see. There we go. I'm going to keep running along the edges here and pulling the cover up. Okay, let's go along this way as well and continue popping this out. Alright, my other video I think shows how to pop out the case a bit better and it's a little bit slower pace, so if you can't figure it out, make sure to watch the other video. Okay, so we got that. Alright, let's go ahead and get this backside now. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue popping this out here. Gotta be careful, make sure you don't drop your computer. Okay, there we go. Now we got the bottom cover off, just like that. Okay, I'll set this aside. You got the battery here. If you want to be extra safe, we're gonna disconnect the battery. Let me actually zoom in a bit so you can see this. I don't remember if I removed the battery, but I'm gonna go ahead and actually pop the battery out completely. So let's take the screws out here. Again, I already made a video going over all the components inside, so if you need model numbers or anything, you'll want to watch my other video. Okay, so 2 screws there, 2 screws here. Alright, again, this is mainly focusing on replacing the fan. I think it was this fan that was bad. I can already tell it's having a hard time turning. So, yeah, alright. Yeah, this fan is pretty bad. Okay, actually it should be good again. I don't know what it got caught on. Well, anyways, we'll replace it just to be safe. Okay, so we got this up. Alright, so let's go ahead and pull this connector out. Let me zoom in here so you can see better. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my fingernails and the wings of the connector and kind of just wiggle it. And as you can see, it's slowly moving out, and there we go. And you want to try and get it out as straight as possible. It did go crooked, but try and get it out as straight as possible. Now we're going to lift the battery up. Let me zoom back out. Okay, and then we're going to pull it back. There we go. I'm going to clean the dust off the battery. I think I didn't take the battery out the last time. but here's the model number if you need it. C41N1906-1. I believe I put that all in the other video if you want to see, but I didn't pull the battery out. I just lifted the whole computer up. And you can actually, on this one now, see the trackpad connection underneath. The buttons have a separate connection than the trackpad, and you see the speaker wire running underneath. All right, anyways, let's go ahead and try and get this fan out. So this fan is having problems here. It's not spinning as smooth as it should. Oh yeah, it's like getting stuck and then grinding on something. All right, so anyways, let's go ahead and remove the screws here. There's 3 screws holding this fan. The other thing is this fan does have a piece tucked underneath the heatsink here, which really sucks because now you have to kind of lift the whole entire motherboard up to get it out. So let's go ahead and see if we can do that without having to redo all the thermal paste. All right, I'm going to try and do this as simple as possible, so that way if you're doing this repair as well, you're not going to have to completely disassemble everything unless it's necessary. All right, so let's go ahead and get the fan. Wait a minute, I thought I ordered both fans. They only sent one. Oh well, I only needed the one, but I thought I ordered 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this out. There is, okay, because only one fan is actually having the problem. I thought it actually sent 2. I was like, oh, I guess I'll have a spare fan just in case. But guess not. Alright, so we'll set that plastic stuff aside. Okay, so the fan, if you look, is like this. And they made this stupid plastic thing here for no reason. This plastic here serves no purpose at all other than to make it difficult to remove. So technically you could just somehow cut this plastic off or break it off and then lift it out easily. But they designed it so that you can't do that. So here you can see we can slightly lift the motherboard up. I'm going to remove some other motherboard screws just to make it a little bit easier. We got the fan connector here, so I'm going to zoom in. Okay. Alright, so got the fan there. We're going to use your fingernails again or whatever plastic tools. Just wiggle that connector and there we go. We disconnected it. Okay, you want to take note of how the connector looks. So if you look at this, you can see the gold pins here. You don't want it that way. You want it actually flipped over this way. They actually put a blue or black dot on top so that you can know not to plug it in upside down. All right, very important. Don't plug it in upside down or you can screw up your computer. You can also take note of the color of the wires. The yellow, black, blue, red. Same thing, yellow, black, blue, red. So make sure you put it that same direction. Okay. I'm going to remove this one screw down here. Hopefully that will make it easier. Be very careful not to damage this cable here. Okay, push that slightly to the side, just like that. Alright, are there other screws I need to remove to make this easier to work on? Okay, let's see now if we can actually lift the fan out or if we're going to have to redo the thermal paste or lift the entire motherboard. I'm also going to undo this clip here. One other thing I forgot to mention, after removing the battery, if you want to be extra safe, open up the computer and then press and hold the power button here for about 15 seconds. This will drain any residual power and make it quite a bit safer to work on. It's not so important for working on regular components, but if you are messing with the screen cable, pulling out the LCD LVDS connector, you do want to do this. Press and hold the power button 15 seconds. Because it'll make it a lot safer to work on again, as mentioned earlier. And if you don't, I've seen a lot of people fry their backlight circuit on the motherboard. Sometimes the screen cable will even burn, so you want to be very careful with that. All right. Okay, so we're gonna disconnect this. I think this is the LED lights. I think I mentioned that last time. I thought it might be the power button, but this actually I think is the LED lights. All right. So, okay, so we got that disconnected. Let's see how far we can lift this up now. We can lift it up quite a bit, but not enough. Let's go ahead and actually take out the SSD as well. All right, there's one screw there holding it down. Take that screw out. Pops up at an angle. This silver thing can actually slide off the SSD, but we're going to try and get it all off at the same time. Okay, oh, I guess it just slid off anyways. All right, so take that out and then pull the SSD out. This is a PCIe NVMe SSD, I go into more detail talking about stuff again on my other video, so if you want more details, watch that. All right, we got the wireless card under here. I didn't remove this last time, but I likely have to do it because it's holding down the motherboard here. So let's go ahead and remove this screw as well. You likely don't need to remove the wireless antennas because I don't think that will stop you from lifting up the motherboard now. So I can lift this a bit more. Still feels like something is holding on to it. I don't think it's this wireless card. It shouldn't be. So yeah, well, let's go ahead and remove the wireless card anyways. Got this black arrow pointing to the black cable and the white one connecting or pointing to the white one. So what you do is you grab at the tail, and the easiest way I found to do this is you lift it up slightly, the wireless card, and then you can push the wireless card down. All right, same thing with the white one. Grab the cable by the tail, lift it up, and then push it down. There we go. We're going to move that out of the way. Let's go ahead and actually take the wireless card out. Okay, it's going to help to use this raised metal thing and then just kind of wiggle it and pull it back. There we go, and we'll set that aside. Okay, now we can actually have access to the cable or the connector, wires, whatever. All right, and we can lift this up slightly. Let's see if we can lift it out from underneath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and swing this out. Oops, I should have zoomed out for this. Okay, what I'm going to try and do, let's zoom out more and zoom out more. I'm going to lift up the heatsink here slightly with the motherboard area. Okay, it's easier to lift from the motherboard side here. This, you don't want to put too much force because you can bend this and that'll be really bad. All right, so now we can kind of lift this up, this side up. Let's see if we can pull it out this way. Okay, it looks like it might work. Okay, I'm going to lift that and then I'm going to get my hand in here because that's a lot easier. And then again, lift the motherboard up. Swing this down. Is that going to work or no? Maybe not. Okay, this might not work. I might have to take the whole motherboard out. Let's see. Lift it up higher a little bit if we can. It feels stuck to something. All right, and we're going to try and maneuver this. There is some foam underneath here, so you kind of have to lift it somewhat pretty high. Okay, and it's working. There we go. So now I rotated this, and we're going to maneuver this to get it out. And come on. Come on. Uh-oh, it's stuck. Oh, there we go. Okay, now we got that out. So I don't know what screw is holding on in the middle. It feels like something else is holding it down here. Oh, I'm going to remove this screw to make it a little bit easier. Okay, well, I should have seen that earlier, but yeah, I can lift it a little bit higher now than before, so that will probably make it easier. Okay, so that's the easiest way to do this fan. Don't forget this screw here, this screw up here. Was there a screw up there? No. And then there wasn't, yeah, I don't think there was a screw up there. And then this screw down here, and then remove the SSD and the wireless card. Okay, so now we got that. I'm going to brush this stuff out because there's some gross stuff in there. Brush out the heatsink. Okay, and then I have an air blower. I'm going to just blow all that gunk out of there. Perfect. All right, it's not as bad as I thought. I was worried I was going to have to completely take everything apart. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and lift this up again, and we're going to work this underneath. Oh shoot, I forgot about this side. So we have to get this side in as well. So I guess the easiest way is you start from over on the left, get both of these under here, start maybe with this one, twist it sideways here. Okay, once you twist it sideways and get that underneath, you can rotate it over. Okay, and then we're going to work our way over just like this and drop that into place, and there we go. Nice. All right. Oh, I messed up. This connector's on top. Hopefully I can just get it out from underneath without having to take everything out. And yes, we can. So yeah, you can see that was much easier than having to take everything apart, or at least to me it was. All right, so anyways, let's go ahead and plug this cable in. Again, you want to make sure this side that's not showing the pins is facing up. Okay, and get that lined up here. All right, make sure it's lined up, and then pinch the two pieces together to get it into place. And there we go, we got the fan in. Very nice. Okay, so let's go ahead now and put back the screws that we pulled out. Oh, I was like, where'd that other fan screw? Okay, so we're gonna put this screw first because that's the last one we took out, though it doesn't technically matter. All right, we'll get that screw in. Okay, now we got to this side. Let's go ahead and put the wireless card in. Okay, make sure you're not getting these wires smacked inside. Let me zoom in for you guys a bit if I can. There we go. Okay, put the wireless card in at an angle just like before. These cables were underneath the wireless card before, so if you want you can go ahead and pull the excess slack just like that to be underneath again. All right, and then we can go ahead and get this wireless card in. Again, it goes at an angle. Make sure it's actually going in the slot and not underneath the motherboard. Okay, and then kind of wiggle that and push that in. Why is it not going in? Is it caught on something? Let's go ahead and wiggle this back out. Okay, I don't know why it's being difficult. Okay, get that in. Oh, that blue cable's a little bit in the way, that's why. I'm gonna use, let me use a, what did I do with my plastic tool? I don't know where it is. I'm gonna use these tweezers to move it out of the way. I think, oh, I was using it over there. Here it is. All right, so we're gonna use the plastic tool just to push these blue wires out of the way so this can go in a bit easier. Okay, there we go. Get that lined up. All right, get this screw into place. Make sure the wireless antennas are not underneath. Oops, I shifted it a little. Make sure this is centered as well. Okay, just like that. We'll tighten this screw into place. All right, looking good. Let's go ahead and get the black cable in. So the wireless antennas, you want to be very careful. They're pretty fragile. So the way you know you have it in place is if you hold it slightly, if you try and move it, it will stay in place. All right, then you can know you can just go ahead and push it down. Okay, you'll actually hear it click into place. There we go. And then we'll do the same thing with the white one. Get it lined up. See if it moves around. All right, we're good. So push that down as well. There we go, clicked into place. All right, let's go ahead and get the SSD in now. So SSD right here. Again, this goes in at an angle as well. All right, now that it's up, we are going to slide this over the top so it slots into this thing. I don't know why they did that. Maybe for thermal it helps, I don't know. All right, I've seen a lot of computers with these things for thermal. Actually, those SSDs fail, so I don't know if it's just they're using bad SSDs or what, but we'll use it because that's what they used. All right, hold that in place, make sure it's centered, get the screw in. There we go. Put that back down. All right, and then we get the other screw. I'm going to put that here as well. Make sure you're not putting the screw on top of this cable. Very important. You don't want to screw that down and damage that cable. All right, there we go. Next, we got the fan screws. All right, let's put back the 3 fan screws here. Sorry for the wobbly. Okay. Get that one screw up in that corner. This screw down here. I'm just loosely fitting them first. All right, after that, I like to kind of squeeze to pull that up into place, and we'll just tighten this down. All right, tighten everything into place. There we go. You can see this fan is so much better. And I don't know if you saw the CPU fan from my other video, but this one is perfectly fine. Okay, you can tell because it keeps spinning quite a bit afterwards. This one, you can see it keeps spinning afterwards. If you look at this old one, it gets stuck. It hits like some weird vibration point and then it just dies. I don't know, it's very weird. There's a possibility that this fan can be repaired. The customer kind of, because at first they just wanted me to clean out the dust to try it. I didn't actually try opening this fan up, and then to be safe so they don't have to come back and forth multiple times, we ordered a fan. It wasn't too expensive. So, but if you want, you can try cutting these off. Maybe I'll do that as well to see if I can show you that you can repair this fan, because if you can repair this fan, you might not even have to go through the lengths of pulling this whole thing out. So I'll actually show you that in a bit, or I'll try doing that in a bit. Let's go ahead now and put back the battery. Okay, let's get this over here, and we'll actually see if we can repair this fan. If a fan is repairable, it kind of varies from fan to fan. Sometimes they'll be repairable, sometimes they won't be, so keep that in mind. Even if it's on the same model computer, because the manufacturer likes to use different fans, whatever's available. Okay, so now that we got the battery in place and this connector lined up, we're going to pinch both pieces together just to get that in. All right, got that fan connector in. Get that plastic back on top. All right, don't forget the 4 screws that were holding the battery into place. Okay. All right, this fan replacement wasn't too bad. Quite nice, actually. Compared to some other models. I mean, it's not as good as a lot of others where they don't have that stupid plastic piece. To be honest, I probably should have just cut that plastic piece off and it would have been way easier to replace. So let me actually see if it serves a purpose. I guess when I cut this open, we'll see if it serves any purpose, but I doubt it. You can see it's like just hollow here. So I don't know if it leads to something where it helps with suction back here. Again, I'm going to cut this fan open and we'll find out. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom out a bit more and put the cover and everything back together. Let's get all this junk out of the way. Maybe I will get a screenshot, or not a screenshot, but a thumbnail here. Okay. So we'll get that, maybe put this, and then let's go ahead and put the cover on. Just get this on like that. All right, and we'll just click everything into place, line everything up. If you want, you can actually test the, oh, I almost forgot. Let's go ahead and open this back up. I almost forgot to put back the cable with the LEDs. So, I mean, I did forget, but I almost sealed it back up without putting that back. So let's go ahead and take this thing back off. Sorry, this video is ending up longer than it should have been, but alright, well, we'll see. Hopefully the fan, we'll try and repair the fan as well, and that way we can save some money. You might not have to even replace the fan or get a new fan. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this cable back in that I pulled out. Alright, make sure to line that up. Pull it back. Alright, get that lined up. There we go. Then flip that latch down. Hopefully the lighting is good enough for you to see. It's kind of too much contrast with the silver and stuff, but alright, let's go ahead and flip this back over and get the cover back into place. Okay. Alright, we got that. We'll get that out of the way, and we'll put this bottom cover back on. Just line it up, snap everything in, snap everything in, snap everything down, snap everything down. Good. Alright, and we'll tighten this screw in, and all that's left is to tighten all the screws back. So hopefully this video helped you guys. Again, I am gonna attempt to disassemble the old fan, and if this process works, then you don't even have to buy a new fan. You can actually repair your old fan depending how it broke. This is most likely an issue with the lubrication, so the oil in the, I guess there's not really bearings in here, but the lubrication in the shaft, or whatever you call it, is probably all gunked up with dust, and that's what causes the fan to stop spinning properly. To fix this, you are going to need a razor blade though, so keep that in mind. But again, if this video helped you, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. But yeah, other than that, I'm gonna finish putting these screws, and then we'll get to trying to repair the old fan, and maybe that can be a backup fan for them just in case, but most likely they're gonna end up throwing it somewhere and losing it. Oh, why is this screw not going in? Did this not snap in right? It's in, so I don't know. This, I think the screw mount for this is broken. I feel like it's just spinning around, so that's not good. Well, anyways, let's go ahead and get this. I don't know how that screw mount broke. We didn't really do anything with it. All right, so anyways, let's go ahead and open this up and see what we got. All right, flip this over, open it up, and let's go ahead and power this on. This is an ASUS TUF Gaming A15. The keyboard's lighting up. I don't know if you can see, it's green right now. Okay, it's going all rainbowy colored. So what's happening now is because the battery was disconnected, I did explain this in my other video, it actually acts as the BIOS, CMOS, RTC, real-time clock battery, whatever you want to call it. So the computer's going to take a bit to start up because the BIOS was reset. So keep that in mind. After you work on it, it is going to take a while to come up. Don't panic or anything unless you did something wrong. So there you go. It turned itself on. Okay. I don't know why they do that. It scares people. They should put like a screen on there saying BIOS was reset. I have a feeling they do it on purpose so that people think their computer's broken and then they send it in and it ends up being like free money for them because they just turn it on, let it sit, and then it fixes itself. But here you can see it's good to go. The screen brightness is really low right now on their computer. There we go, I'll brighten it up. Okay, so there you go. I'm not going to show the username. Let me go ahead and shut this down and we should be good to go. All right, so let's go ahead now and attempt the fan repair to see if it's possible to repair this fan without having to replace it. We have this fan here. Again, we are going to be using a razor blade. Let's zoom in. This is the old fan that has the problem. So if I blow this, you can see it sometimes will get stuck for no reason. All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to cut these plastic pieces off. I just use the razor blade to do this. You can use whatever works for you. Some people will like use a tool to like melt it while they're kind of lifting this metal up. You can do that as well. But I just use a razor blade and it helps to use a cutting slicing motion. All right. Like this. But it does also scratch this a little. So yeah, all right, let's go ahead and just cut all these off, and then be careful while you're cutting that you don't cut yourself. So if you want, you can do the safe practice and cut away from yourself like that. I'm sure some people are probably like, don't cut towards yourself, but yeah. All right, let's go ahead and continue cutting these off. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's a 5th one in this corner that's a little tough to get to because of all this foam. You can probably peel up the foam, but let's go ahead and see if we can cut right next to it. There we go. Okay, let's see if we can lift this metal plate off. So if this works, again, you don't need to buy a new fan. You can see this metal plate came off pretty easily. Let's see now. Okay, so we got that off. We're going to see if we can, you can see it gets, so it randomly gets stuck. I can actually feel a vibration. Oh, you can't hear it, but it does make like a like thing while you're spinning it. All right, so let's see if we can pop this off or not. It feels like it moves, but it's not popping off. Let's go from the back and see if we can push it through. You want to apply even pressure if you can. Okay, it doesn't look like this fan is repairable. Actually, maybe the bad grease is holding it in place. I feel like it's moving, but it's moving, but it's like popping. That's really weird. I've never heard that before. Maybe on this one, the plastic is actually broken, not the... Yeah, that's weird. Okay, it doesn't want to come out. So I guess this fan isn't really repairable. If you use enough force, you might be able to get it out if you just push this super hard. Oh, did it break or did it actually come out nicely? Okay, so it did come out nicely. We can fix this fan. All right, so what we're going to do to fix this, just get some paper. We're going to wipe the middle piece off here. All right, I'm going to also brush this dust off and get the fan out of the way because I don't want to brush the dust into the fan. All right, you might want to order a replacement fan just to be safe because there is a chance you can break this. When I was pushing on this center ring that's a lot thicker, not on the propeller blades. All right, then what we're going to do, we're going to use a needle and some motor oil. You can use whatever good motor lubricating oil you want, bearing oil. I just use synthetic motor oil because that's what I have on hand and it works, so why not? If you don't have that, if you have a vehicle, you can pull the dipstick out, get a little oil from there, and you can use that in a pinch. It's not a big deal, all right? So we'll get a little bit of oil on the needle like that, and we're just going to put that into the shaft there. Okay, just like that. I'm going to put 2 small drops. All right, there we go. Then we're just going to put this back in. You can spin it. And you can see how much better this thing spins already. All right, it keeps spinning. All right, then after you confirm it's okay, if you want, you can take it back out, clean it up a little bit, add another drop of oil, and then we'll just reassemble the fan. So this fan, oops, that's way too much. So this fan is actually really good. You can keep using it, you can repair it. All right, so whatever they used on here, it looks like you can fix it. Get that back in, snap it back down. You actually hear it click into place, and here you can see this fan is good to go. Maybe I should put this fan back in there, save a little money, and return the other one because this looks okay. But yeah, all right, so good to go. You can actually put this metal plate just back on, just like this. And then what you want to do is just get a little tape. You can use glue if you want or whatever. But usually I will just put a little tape wrapped around both edges. I actually have a customer here, so I should probably get to them real quick. But let me get this all back lined up. Make sure you get all these little plastic divots lined up. And it somewhat holds itself together. You can see it's not falling off. But you do want to reinforce it with some glue or tape or something. Just put like a tiny bit of glue or something here. All right. So anyways, that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video helped you guys. Again, if it did, like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade, repair their devices. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right, let's drop this. All right, so here's the repaired fan. You can see we put some tape. It's really hard to see, but you can see. Hopefully you can see. There's the tape there. And then this side actually has this metal, so the screw goes in and holds it. If you want, you can add tape there, but this screw will hold that down. But anyways, we're going to reinstall this fan because this fan is good now, as you can see. Let's blow this. Okay, and then we can go ahead and return the other fan. This fan is actually really good now. All right, so yeah, you saw the process how to do that. Hopefully it helped. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. All right, bye.